The sun cast a golden glow over the small town of Bahir Dar, Ethiopia, as 𝐂𝐟 and 𝐂𝐚𝐾 sat by the lake, their hands intertwined. They had been best friends since childhood, and their love had blossomed into something rare and beautiful. They spoke of their future, a small home filled with laughter, a business they would run together, and children who would carry their dreams forward. 𝐂𝐟, a humble and hard-working man, adored 𝐂𝐚𝐾 beyond words. He worked as a carpenter, saving every penny for their future, while 𝐂𝐚𝐾 was the light of his world. She was kind, graceful, and full of dreams. Life was perfect, until the sickness came. It started with fatigue. At first, 𝐂𝐚𝐾 dismissed it as mere exhaustion, but soon her body grew weak, and she could barely stand. 𝐂𝐟 rushed her to the hospital, his heart pounding with fear. After a series of tests, the doctor's face turned grave. "Her kidneys are failing," he said. "She needs a transplant soon." 𝐂𝐟's world shattered. The cost of the surgery was overwhelming, far beyond what he could afford. But when he was tested and found to be a perfect match, he didn't hesitate. He would give her his kidney, his very flesh, to save the woman he loved. But there was another problem. Even with the kidney, they needed money for the operation, and they had none. 𝐂𝐟 did what no man ever dreams of doing. He begged. He stood on the streets, outside markets, near mosques, pleading with strangers to help save his wife. Some gave, others pitied him, and some mocked him, calling him a fool. But 𝐂𝐟 didn't care. His pride meant nothing compared to 𝐂𝐚𝐾's life. Days turned into weeks, and finally, he had enough. The surgery took place. It was painful, and 𝐂𝐟 grew weaker. But when he saw 𝐂𝐚𝐾 open her eyes, full of life again, he wept with joy. "This is our second chance," he whispered, holding her hand. 𝐂𝐚𝐾 smiled, but something in her eyes had changed, a love slowly fading. At first, it was small things. She started going out without telling him where she was going. She made decisions without him. She laughed less with him and more with others. Then, she started coming home late. 𝐂𝐟, still recovering, noticed her distance, but told himself it was just the stress of recovery. One evening, he collapsed from exhaustion, his body still weak from the surgery. He called 𝐂𝐚𝐾, begging her to come home. "I'm busy," she said coldly. She never came. 𝐂𝐟 lay alone in the small house he had built with his hands, the same hands that had begged for her life. The pain in his body was nothing compared to the pain in his heart. Rumors started to spread. Neighbors whispered about 𝐂𝐚𝐾, how she was seen with another man, how she had changed since her recovery. 𝐂𝐟 refused to believe it. Not 𝐂𝐚𝐾, not the woman he had given his very body for. But damn, one night, he witnessed it with his own eyes. She strolled past him on the street, giggling, her hand intertwined with another man's. 𝐂𝐟's whole world came to a screeching halt. His chest constricted, his vision went all blurry, and at that precise moment, he realized he had rescued a woman who had already let him perish inside. That very night, he packed his bags. When 𝐂𝐚𝐾 returned home, she discovered the house deserted. Then she saw a note he had left her. "I handed you my whole damn life, and you just buried me alive. Goodbye." Regret hits like a freight train. Days morphed into weeks, and suddenly 𝐂𝐚𝐾 felt the gaping void. The man she had double-crossed never returned. She scoured for him, pleaded for his comeback, but 𝐂𝐟 had moved on. He constructed a fresh life, light years away from the agony, and discovered joy once more. But 𝐂𝐚𝐾, she was left with nothing but a sea of regrets. Every damn night, she murmured his name, yearning for his return, but he never did. So guys, let's be truthful. Would you be willing to give a limb for your one true love? And if you found yourself in a situation like this, what the hell would you do? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and thanks a million for tuning in. And if you made it this far, show some love to the channel by hitting that subscribe button, like and share. Thanks.